what is up, everyone? I know I am. Oh, shoot. Wait a minute. Okay. Hey, what's up, everyone? I know I am late to the plate because I've been trying to gear up to get ready for Monday because I start a new opportunity. And so I'm kind of nervous about it, but still excited at the same time. So I kind of been sleeping and stuff. But either way, I wanted to hop on here real quick and give a breakdown analysis of what I think about last week's episode of Ready to Love. If you are not familiar with the show, it comes on every Saturday night. I think we're coming into the home stretch. Either this is the last episode or the next to last episode. I'm not sure. I know last year for season 1, they did like a reunion show or whatever for it. But I actually took notes. Usually I just do my Twitter notes. But last week I was kind of checked out on the episode. So I said, let me sit down, take some notes, and actually analyze this particular episode and also break it apart from usually I do Real Housewives of Atlanta and Ready to Love together because usually my analysis is not that deep with this show. But this episode in particular, because of the retreat, I think people delved a little bit more into their issues as far as what is it in past relationships? What's still haunting their ability to make genuine connections and be able to move forward with the next person in their life? Okay. Ashima in particular touched on that, and a couple of other people did too. But really, I think Ashima really fleshed out. And I like the way Darren really talk to her about her hesitations and her issues. I think it was a very mature way in which she spoke. I also like the interaction between Brent and Divine and the maturity of it. Now, what I haven't liked so far is Baby Suge Knight. London, very childish approach. Excuse me, y'all got black ink because I'm left-handed, so I have black ink on my hand. So if y'all saw that. But real quick, for those of you watching on my YouTube, this is your first time watching me on YouTube, be sure to subscribe to this channel and give this video a thumbs up, and feel free to share it with your friends and family and everybody else. You know, make it like MCI back in the day. Friends and family can come too. Okay. Oh, excuse me, y'all. My allergies are bothering me still. So anyways, the couples are going on a retreat. And I think that Divine said one of the most truest statements ever. You don't know people until you live with them or travel with them. That is so true. Because Lord knows on my trip to Aruba, now I didn't know this chick, but I know my friend. And I said, surely my friend don't have crazy ass friends. Oh, but this girl was crazy. She looked at it and threw off the balcony. That's just how much she irritated me. And she talked crazy to us because she felt like my friend was supposed to be her friend. I'm like, and her friend only. I was like, this is a friend's trip. Why are you here? Maybe you should have just done the solo trip, which they did. They went to New York together, actually. I was like, girl, you are one miserable so-and-so. But anyway, London, who is Mr. Player from the Himalaya. I like to call him Baby Suge. I'm gonna be honest, y'all. In all honesty, back in the day, I ain't gonna lie, Suge Knight could have got it. Now, would I have survived? Probably not. He probably would have beat my ass or something, you know. But, you know, back in the day, I thought Suge was Mr. Sexy. Of course, I've always liked the big linebacker types, you know. They're a weakness of mine. So anyway, he said that he has been trying to get Alexis to stay in their lane, and he is mad about this new Brent. Baby, it's called The Art of War with Mr. Brent. Okay, and another thing I noticed about Brent, I didn't notice this before, but did y'all notice that he is a member of Omega Psi Phi? If you check that left shoulder, it is branded. I said, oh shit. Yeah, I think you picked the wrong one, pretty boy, London. But either way, then Alexis said they need to be setting up for their future. I was like, you just met this man. You don't know him, girl. I mean, it's what, but she did kind of clean it up when she was like, we need to ask questions. You always need to ask questions about people that you're interested in, that you in your mind, probably after date one, has seen, a possible future. Like, does he want children? What does he want to do in retirement? Where does he like to travel? What's his favorite color? Do y'all even know each other's favorite colors on here? That's a good question. But I think she kind of stretched it to we need to be setting up our future. So did you think after the show y'all were gonna go to Vegas and get married or have a church wedding? I mean, what's going on here, Alexis? I was confused by that. She says that he jokes too much. Well, let me say this. A man who has a sense of humor is always impressive for me. But if you cannot handle that sense of humor, then yeah, he not the man for you. So y'all really don't have a connection. And I think part of the reason why London is the way that he is in his personality is that that's the way he eases the tension he believes in the room. And it's also maybe just how he's made. I know I joke a lot, and that's why I told guys when they meet me, I'm going to tell you right now, number one, I am a comedian. Number two, I'm goofy as hell. I love to laugh. I don't take life too seriously. I'm ambitious, but I just don't feel like stressing myself out to the point to where, oh my God, I take life too serious. And then I have a stroke and die because I'm stressed out from worrying about stuff I have no control over. So either way. Meanwhile, in the kitchen, Tondi, Shima, and Darren are all in the kitchen, and baby, it got hot in that kitchen. It wasn't just from the grease, okay? Darren let it be known, my strongest connection is with you, Ashima. And he felt like he has a little connection with Tondi too. That's when I was like, we in the motherfucking kitchen again. Somebody gonna get stabbed or a glass gonna get broke. Somebody get the wine glass because Ashima be looking like crunch. She could just crush a glass and just be like, hey, Breland. And she could just be like, like she'll break a bitch off. Okay. Like you might just get cut or something. Like I was like, y'all know Ashima, she from Alabama, honey. And yeah. Mm-hmm. But I do like how Darren speaks to, I like his approach. It's almost like he's had some sort of counseling or psychology background or something. But he told her, he says, I see you have a specific way in which you like for things to be said. Okay. So therefore he's listening and he's coming to understand this is how I have to communicate with Ashima. And she was like, he told her, you just keep beating a dead horse. I told you, you're number one or whatever. He said, hell, you just shot the horse and dug it up and beat it again. I mean, like, what more do you want, woman? And meanwhile, Alexis and Ashima go off to have a conversation because Ashima needed to vent about how she felt about the fact that Darren has a connection with Tondi. That was a big issue for her. Let me look at my Twitter notes real quick because I forgot. Oh, yeah, and that cigar bar that they keep meeting at. Someone just told me that we should totally go check that place out. Cutters. If y'all know something about Cutters, let me know because, I'm trying to become a cigar aficionada. And, y'all let me know. In London, don't you ever wear them goddamn Space Coast Ghoster boots again. No, sell them on Poshmark, honey. Get your money back because I imagine they expensive. Also made the note that I don't know how London is going to tell someone to focus on him and he focus on two. I was like, that don't even add up. And honestly, with Brent's new personality dynamic coming out, he's Mr. Steal Your Girlfriend. We all know who the original Mr. Steal Your Girlfriend is. That's that pretty boy. Prince Rogers Nelson, honey. People thought he was gay and come to find out he loved women all day, every day. And so that's how he was able to take your girlfriend. That's why I call Brent Mr. Steal Your Girlfriend because people thought he was just unassuming and innocent and, really kind of just didn't have a backbone or a personality for this. But he came in there and swooped up and got your Alexis. Hey, Sonny, your question is, was that the one with my girl Chrissy and the white dude? Wait a minute, was that the one with my girl Chrissy? Wait a minute, who is that, Sonny? Are we talking about Ready to Love on? Who's Chrissy and who was the white dude? Were no white people on this show? You better come back and answer that question, Sonny. So anyway, what else did I say about this particular section? Ashima, this is why I said this episode was so poignant and important. Ashima said that she does not like to show weakness and vulnerability. As y'all know, this week and all this past year, we've been getting a lot of press from one of our favorite Around the Way girls, Taraji P. Henson, and her talk about dealing with depression, anxiety, stress, all that. As Black women, it's almost like we have the world on our shoulders all the time and we're expected to grin and bear it. And I can understand where Ashima is coming from. I don't like showing weakness. Part of that is just because it really got stronger once I went to the military. Uncle Sam instilled in me a different type of mindset, different type of way to handle stress. And so, and then on top of that, because of my upbringing, I also had to be tough too, because sadly, you know, once I got older, my mom kind of started trying to foster what she called independence in me. And so I'm just one of those people where I'm just very, very strong. Some men have said that I seem kind of cold and off-put. I'm just very good at compartmentalizing. Experience will teach you that. So I can understand where she's coming from. And you also don't want to let men know that, you know, you have these issues and hangups and vulnerabilities, because later on down the road, they could possibly use that against you. And I've had that happen too. As a matter of fact, in my most recent breakup, he used that. He weaponized the moments when I was vulnerable, expressing things to him. He weaponized that stuff and used it against me. So I can understand where Ashima is coming from. But I also feel like, again, Will Packer, if you ever should watch this video, I strongly encourage you when you do season 3, because there has to be the season 3. This is a very good show, particularly for Black people. There needs to be a therapist, a love guru, or someone there counseling and coaching these people during this, because there's so many things that are coming up. It could be a Yana Benzet. I have a sorority sister that I could totally recommend. She's been on TV that actually specializes in love and connection. She's actually very good, a little bit too brutal at times, but okay. So that's all I'm saying about this situation, is that maybe that's what needs to happen. So the men get together, and London said he is tired of women coming with him with the baggage. So that's where we see another thing with London expressing the fact that the women that he has dealt with, they come with too much baggage, and it's stressing him out. Mario said he's tired too, because, you know, he sees everything that's going on, observing. He feels bad for Darren because he's been given a hard time and he's really trying. We learned that Darren was raised in a household with both of his parents, but he had a father that was a cheating father, or as I like to call those type of men that step out on their marriages. He was a straight up hoe. Yeah, my grandfather was a hoe. Ultimately, that last young lady killed him, I believe. We believe he was poisoned. I wasn't even born when my grandfather died, but I think he died like 72, 73, something like that. Child, y'all got to be careful stepping out with these. You got a woman at home cooking you a good meal in a crock pot, you stepping out, end up dead. But either way, I like the fact that Darren did not allow his father's behavior to become part of his personality dynamic. What I did like about him is the fact that he said, I saw how it hurt my mother and I vowed I would never be that man. That's a beautiful thing. Not everyone does that, because some men aspire only to be like their fathers. And therefore, sometimes we get those men that just are jacked up and messed up like their fathers. Okay. But when Mario said, I feel sorry for the brother in that tacky ass tuxedo. Mario, if you watch this, don't ever wear that t-shirt again. That was a horrible, horrible t-shirt, baby. Don't do that no more. I don't care if it's just for casual. You on TV, go and put that in the recycle bin. Don't even donate it. Just put in the recycle bin and drop that off at H&M. You know they have a recycling program. Meanwhile, Tundi and Reva and some of the other women are in the kitchen, and this is when we learn. Now, apparently, I think it was the episode before this, we learned that Tundi and Reva have a connection for 5 years, because according to Reva, Her and Tandy are not friends. They are merely close associates. And I said, you know what, Reva? You right. You right, girl. I'm gonna tell you why she right. Tandy, and she laughed at this because I said it on Twitter. I said, yeah, Tandy ain't told that girl that yellow eyeshadow and them whatever those are, them lace fronts she be rocking, baby, they aging you all the way up to age 62. Because I swear Reva be sitting up there looking like somebody, that grandmother that be sitting in the house smoking Newports and drinking some scotch or some sort of brown liquor and yelling and screaming and cursing out anybody who breathes in the house. That's what she be looking like. That short haircut was the best haircut. Reva's makeup, though, sometimes she be looking ghostly. I don't know if it's the lighting or did she just makes a bad choice in makeup. But I've got one word for you because it's a compound word. It is Dior Skin. Get you some. It will make all the difference in your life. It's European, so it doesn't have all the byproducts that the American government allows in. And by God, it makes your skin look good. It does. So either way, Reva, I was like, and she was messy too. And I was like, damn. And she told me, you've only called me twice. Now, when you say called you twice, has she texted you before in the past? I mean, like, what's going on with that? I don't get it. But either way, Tandy, I'm rooting for you and Mario. That's all I'm gonna say. The whole time all this interchange is going on, Divine just sitting there sipping. Because as it turns out, Reva will call Divine a friend before she will call Tandy a friend, a person she has known for 5 years. Okay. She's like, cause she called me, she talked to me every night. I'm like, girl, it's a competition. Of course she gonna call and talk to you every night. It's the art of war. What are you doing? Like, you ain't picked that up? Like, duh, that's what's going on. As they leave the conversation, Reva told me, ooh, girl, my blood pressure up, and Divine talking about her diabetes was acting up. I said, oh Lord Jesus, that's terrible, lady. Yeah, I'm breaking down already. I know about that blood pressure though. If I'm not careful, diabetes could creep up. I gotta do something. But I gained almost all this weight back I've lost. Ashima is in the kitchen when all the men folk come in, and that's when Mario learns that no, actually Reva told on herself. I forgot how that went down. Mario comes in to kind of be a bridge over troubled waters between Tandy and Reva because he learns that Reva basically just told Tandy she ain't no friend of mine. And he tells her, it shouldn't be like that, basically. And so what ends up happening, it comes out, Reva says, well, in the 1 or 2 conversations I have had with her on the phone, we talked because she called me and I warned her about you. I told her to be careful because I don't know what's going on with you. You know what's up, Reva, because you've been up here holding back, protecting yourself, and not really wanting to be open to whatever it is because it's a competition. Mario has every right he could have a connection with all of the remaining women if he wanted to. It's a competition. And I think that's what a lot of you fail to realize. Hey, boo, I see you. And I think that's what y'all fail to realize is that, you don't see it as, Lord, you done got me off my game. Y'all don't see it as a competition. So either way, just get over it, Reva. I don't get it. Ashima basically tells Darren she's not here for him straddling the fence. I don't feel as though he's straddling the fence, but because of her past issues with everything and being the strong Black woman that she is, and it's hard to let your guard down and let people see you vulnerable. I can understand that. Darren tells her he thought that when he stated to her in front of Tony that she was his number one, that would suffice. But he says he now understands there's a specific way, of course, that he needs to speak to her. And he says he understands that it's not enough for her. And therefore, he wants her to tell, he wants her to tell him what he can do to make it better. I said, that's my man. I like this, Darren. You go ahead, and Shima. I hope it work out for y'all. Although you're going to have to learn how to love dogs, girl, if you want him. That's all I'm going to say. Ashima said that trust has to be earned. Darren said he grew up in a house where trust, you already had it. It wasn't until someone betrayed you that it was lost. And so now he understands her style and approach to relationships with people is from people being just a personal relationship or an intimate relationship. And he basically asked her what had he done for her to feel this way. And she said that I found out that you and Tony were still texting and stuff. He told me that was like a week ago. And the fact that she brought it up at the wine bar, I just felt some type of way. And I was like, oh, Lord. Okay, girl, get out of your feelings and get into your bag. Okay, that's a quote from Marlo Hampton. I love and hate her at the same time, y'all. Let's see what else. Meanwhile, while this is all going on, Mr. Steal Your Girlfriend, Brent, is in close quarters watching and observing, but he decides, I'm going to go do something else, and decides to go spend some time with Alexis. He learns that Alexis has a weakness that not many Black people have, and that's called she doesn't know how to play spades. Okay. It is very rare for you to find Black people that don't know how to play spades. We all played in college. We all played at family barbecues, and if it wasn't spades, it was dominoes. You got to know how to play mode. My math game ain't strong. I used to, one of my best friends from junior high on up, this girl used to be able to read the set. I mean, I'm sure she still can. She could read how many pretty much and predict what to put down to maximize her points because she was a scientist and a mathematician. So anyway, that's a good end for Mr. Steal Your Girlfriend, Brent, because now he can get slide on up in there and get with Miss Alexis, okay? And so Brent learns that he found the chink in Alexis' armor when she lets him know that one of the things she decided to do was give herself a reality check and realize that you got to get in the game in order to be part of the game to even win the game. Okay. So I was like, all right. Mario and Baby Suge Knight are talking. And London is saying when you're on the fish, you stand the chance of losing both parties, both women. London, I don't know if you realize this, but there's been a disconnect with you and Divine too. So you might want to get back with Divine because Brent in this same episode just told her that, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and go with Alexis. And I'm like, Brent already knew that Divine was just getting with him because, well, she had put all her eggs in one basket and really hung on to London. And meanwhile, London wants to play footsies with both her and Alexis. Okay. So I'm just like, y'all better figure something out real fast. Okay. Let's see. Also, I think one of my predictions came up at this point, and this was, I believe Reva is probably going to be eliminated. If not Reva, Divine is probably going to be eliminated this coming episode. That's my prediction so far. London decides that he needs to have a conversation with Alexis, and Alexis lets him know there are certain things that you are not doing. For instance, my outfit was popping. Brent noticed, you didn't. That's the problem, boo. London is in the confessional saying, well, we got to let this all play out. And then he going to tell her, wait a minute, this what I knew London was an old player from the Himalaya. This fool said, girl, you know I cut for you. I was like, I don't think Alexis is even old enough to even know what it is you mean by cut for her. She probably think that you mean you going to cut her or something. I don't know. Hey, Karima. London is going to lose both of them. I think so because towards the end of this episode, Divine kind of was like, to hell with all of it. I'm over. But if you notice, Divine took off. She came up out her face because, usually Divine is very prim and proper, right? But she was like, I'm going to have to let a motherfucker know. I was like, in London, you the motherfucker, baby Suge Knight. Okay, you better get on your shit. Okay, and you also agree that it could either be Reva or Divine, okay? So Mario speaks to Divine on London's behalf and lets it be known that he has expressed having the strongest connection with her. Then London got busted out by Reva through Mario, okay? When Reva let it be known that the strongest connection was with him and Divine, Alexa's face was like, oh. And I was like, girl, yeah, you didn't know, and I don't know what you worried about it because you want Brent, or so you pretend that you want Brent. You're doing a good job, bang up job, girl. Well, Taylor, I am so sorry to hear that your brother blew himself up and his 2 kids. I will be praying for y'all. That was a weird announcement. Let's pray for Josh, Taylor Crowley. That's Lord help. Okay, that was weird. Okay, let me get back on my grind. London said he don't even know what's going on because he ain't got cell phone service. He said he wants each journey to be its own. He doesn't want to give each woman a ranking because he fears that each woman is going to do something extra and it not be genuine. I can understand and relate that. But at the same time, you know that these women talk. So I don't know what to tell you, London. It sounds like you're going to be back out on the streets of Atlanta swiping. That's what it sounds like to me. Then he also said he wants to take this path without labels. I hate when men say that. That's a red flag for me when you say you don't want labels. I mean, I personally think that at this age, I shouldn't be calling anybody my boyfriend, or you shouldn't be referring to me as your girlfriend. That's why I always try to say things like my gentleman friend or something like that. But it still sounds awkward. So every now and then I start hearing myself. Anyway, I need a label, boo. What are we, friends with benefits? What we doing? Bradley feels as though my boy Darren needs to go. But you know, Ashima and her and him have a connection. So I don't know if it don't work out. And I fear that I'm trying to think who else could go home. The only people I feel that are in jeopardy of being eliminated right now is between Darren, Ashima, Reva, and Divine. And the only reason I feel like Ashima and Darren would have to go is because they have a connection, but then that would be messed up because the whole point of the show is to get 3 couples so that they will be, loving people. So I don't know, but I'm here for Darren and Ashima's love connection. I just need for Ashima to get over her problem with dogs, because that's a deal breaker for me. If you don't like dogs, we can't go together. So I'm just telling you, because my plan is to have me about 5 or 6 little ones, a couple of big, okay, no, 5 or 6, but a few, because I'm going to eventually have a farm or a ranch anyway, so it don't matter. That's when Divine came up out her face, and that's when I started laughing, because Miss Vitamin D, she let go and let have. She said she about to make up a motherfucker's mind, okay? And I was like, London, again, you're the motherfucker. Meanwhile, Mr. Steele, your girlfriend, can see the agitation with Alexis, and he takes her off so they could be alone. And he said he down with all 10, baby. I was like, yes, tell that girl what she want to hear, honey. Tell her, okay? And so he said he ain't going nowhere. I said, well, they might send you home, Brent, but I doubt the likelihood of that is like 0 to none. London rolls up like the Suge Knight lookalike he is and bogarts his way in. And that's when Brent kind of flared up and was like, look, I'm not done talking to her. And I was like, you know you wrong. And then he was sitting in the confessional, well, when I saw Brent over here, I'm like, what is he? Is that like her poodle or her bodyguard? What is he? I was like, Negro, you can't get mad about it. You up here playing games. You need to step up your communication game with these women. Just let them know. Look, and number 2, you should have really emphasized them, because it's almost like they got water on the brain. They didn't forget. This is a competition. You cannot set up here and make people force them to claim you. For all we know, they could walk away from this without a connection, period. And it could be just like The Bachelor, where people later on, where are they now? It didn't work out. Okay, we don't know. It could go down like that. That's all I'm saying. So, either way, I just feel like it was about to be a situation between Baby Suge Knight and Mr. Steal Your Girlfriend. Okay, that's what I thought was about to happen, but it didn't. So next week, we see Alexa says that the cabin was a shit show. She didn't know who the hell London was. I said, you never know somebody till you travel with them. And then Alexis, not Alexis, Divine in London, when she said it's broad daylight and I'm still in the dark, I was like, woo, child. I like that. I'm gonna start using that. I really, really like that. But that's pretty much the episode. I think, let me see if I made any additional commentary via Twitter. Yeah, that was pretty much it. So that's all I've got. I'm ready for tonight. I will be tweeting, of course, alone with the people here on the East Coast, because you know I'm an East Coaster. Shout out to my peeps on the West Coast. I do miss you all dearly. So who's this giving me all the love? Hey, Green Mile, how are you, darling? So anyway, that's all that I've got for this. Meanwhile, y'all be in prayer for one of my followers. They just commented that his brother Josh blew himself up and his 2 kids. So y'all pray for them. Other than that, I think that's all. Oh, real quick. This week, what was I gonna say? Oh, real quick, I just want to comment on the tail end of this. I'm laughing because people really, really wanted Billy D. Williams to be, I don't know. They said gender fluid. I'm still confused about what that is. But all I know is I'm like, technically all of us have a little femininity and a little masculinity going on with us. And that's kind of what he was saying. And in case you didn't know what Billy D really meant, he's also Mr. Steal Your Girlfriend too. Okay, because like the mind of a man has to be able to get in tune with what it is that a woman wants. So he can tell you all the things you like to hear. So he can make you just melt, make your heart melt, make your heart stop, and make your panties drop too. That's what that is about. Because he said basically he kind of, all of us, think about it when you were growing up. I know for me, I was a tomboy growing up. I think at one point my mom was a little concerned. I was one of those girls. I hated purses. I hated dresses. I loved to play in the dirt. And eventually I became very bougie. And, you know, I remember growing up and my mother always telling me eventually I would probably pledge AKA, which I did. She said, yeah, just like the ones on my campus at Mississippi Valley State. So that's all I've got, y'all. I just wanted to comment on that because I was laughing because Billy D. Williams was like, whoa, hold up there, young blood. That is not what I meant. So he was like, I am not, you know. I was like, we know you all true man, Mr. Colt 45. All right. Yeah. But y'all, that's all I've got on this. I will be back tonight again. I'll be tweeting. If you don't know what my Twitter handle is, it is Afia the Diva. I want to rebrand it, but I'm afraid that my people might not be able to see my old tweets, so I'll just keep it at Afia the Diva. It really should be Miss Afia the Diva, but it's Afia the Diva. I'll be back probably tomorrow afternoon, and we'll talk about Real Housewives of Atlanta, and we'll also talk about, in the news, Portia and Dennis possibly having another child together. I really just think it's a matter of not wanting to have mismatched daddies. That's what I think it's about. I could be wrong, but oh well. Y'all have a good night. This has been Miss Afia the Diva discussing Owns Ready to Love. This episode was Ready to Retreat. And we'll see who gets eliminated, who has to go home tonight. All right. But as I always like to say, chin up, buttercups. The sun will come out. But in the meantime, in between time, stay fabulous. All right. Good night.